Hello, my name is Andrew, and I wanted to create a video to check in and hopefully get some ideas and thoughts um, into a platform that can help to inspire other thoughts and maybe create actions towards creating a better world and developing harmony and peace and well-being for life. I have had a pretty rough go of things recently and in the last, well, for my entire life, basically. In the last year, or the year of 2025, I've spent, I think, about 5 months in psychiatric hospitals. And the majority of the rest of the time in what are called crisis residential treatment centers, or CRTs. Right now, I am medicated in a different way than I have been before, and these medications are functioning enough to make my experience of life relatively quiet, although that quiet is also fraught with incapacities of emotion and feeling and sense and intelligence of intellect or mind. And the description is actually rather difficult to give for me right now because I am limited intellectually and I am quite weak physically or spiritually. I prefer the word spiritually for this description because it describes not just physical weakness, but the strength of spirit necessary to live life, especially under duress, in situations where there is challenge. I would like to see a world that cultivates wisdom. I would like to see a world where humans are living in a way that is more harmonious with the environment, even to the degree of total harmony with the environment and all of the life forms of the planet. I want to see responsible living, or at least be part of activities and living that create and help to allow for harmonious, sustainable life for this planet and all of its life forms. I've witnessed in my life, though mostly through media, the destruction of many natural environments. I have heard about and am researching in the way that I can the destruction of cultures through genocides and slavery and oppression and imprisonment. Cultures that are important with human lives and the lives of other life forms being impacted by the destruction of and harm done to these humans. I'm sorry if the last few statements or last couple of paragraphs have been discontinuous, or if there was an abrupt change, I lost my train of thought. I'm doing my best. I have major cognitive impairments due to the disease schizophrenia, which also includes what has been described as bipolar disorder by a psychiatrist, but I'm not sure if that's actually a part of my diagnosis, but it's not really the diagnosis that's important. It's the actuality of the condition that I'm experiencing that is important. I've also experienced much trauma to my mind, my heart, my soul, my body. If there are metaphysical systems to the human form and the human being, to those metaphysical systems as well. At least that's been my experience, and it has had effects that are causative of more problems in my actual functional experience. Back to the topic of helping instead of harming the planet and life. I want the environments of this world to be able to heal and regenerate. The forests, the plains, even the deserts, if not have some of the deserts become places of abundance. I think there's a great beauty to some deserts. However, the planet and life forms may appreciate, if the planet is alive, having some of these deserts transformed into places where life abounds, even though there is life in these deserts and they're highly evolved to, or highly adapted to be able to manage living in these extreme environments. And that's something to consider as being important to care for and respect, in my opinion. There's a lot I would like to say, but there are very few words coming to me right now consciously, which is limiting my capacity to further talk right now. Wisdom, love, care, respect, harmony. Wisdom for me is one of the fundamentally important concepts, and as it exists, in the ways that it exists, truths of life. It is necessary to have wisdom. Whether there is wisdom that exists and it is to be found or discovered, or whether wisdom needs to be cultivated and created in new and different ways to address problems for the purposes of well-being and safety and protection of life. Wisdom is essentially important and one of the most important things that exists. In my experience of life, there has been very little in the way of teaching about wisdom that I have received the benefit of. And I have had to explore as much as I could, as well as I could, information from others and from resources available to me to try and gain an understanding of what is the wisdom that helps to reduce pain and suffering, that helps promote well-being, and that helps a life form like myself or maybe any other to live in a way that is harmonious and sustainable in any environment or in the environment of life that is in the environment in which a life form lives and may visit. I just experienced another loss of a train of thought. I apologize. I don't know how to continue with what I was saying. Too much. Wisdom that allows for an individual to live harmoniously with others, peacefully, respectfully, that promotes well-being and wonderful experiences. That is something that I would like to know more about and would like to see others cultivating, exploring, and expressing, living. There's a lot of information that exists that on the internet, at least, is widely available to people that can be inspiring and can be something that feels good, but it may not be accurate. It is important to have discernment. It is important, in my opinion, to somehow create a system where that which is not truly wisdom is not allowed to be, or is selected and indicated to be, not actual wisdom. So that only wisdom, true wisdom that is functional, because wisdom must be functional in my opinion, is allowed to be maintained in a way that is accessible to others so that others may receive the benefit of this wisdom. There's a big mess of stuff on the internet right now when it comes to trying to find the truth and trying to find what works, what is functional for well-being and benefit and sustainability. Unfortunately, in my life, I have found very little to be helpful. Right now, medications are effectively the only thing that are actually working in any way to promote something like well-being for me. They keep me more stable. They keep me in a state of less pain and suffering. And they do in some way help to promote some type of functionality, though they also seem to be limiting me in some pretty profound ways. My roommate just got here, and I want to respect him, so I'm going to discontinue this video for now. Thank you.